What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be talking about a topic that has kind of gotten hot a lot recently, especially with Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks has been a big part of this. Should you be buying or selling your cards pre-release? So this is a different thing. I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on pre-release stuff, buying and selling pre-release, especially recently we've had like a big people being like, hey, pre-release stuff, do not buy it at all. And people are like, oh, especially with Surging Sparks, what happened? Surging Sparks kind of changed this game a lot. And Twilight Masquerade kind of did the same thing. I'm going to give my personal, what happened to me with Twilight Masquerade, because something happened like that with me with Twilight Masquerade. I'll explain that here in a little bit. So Surging Sparks really changed the game a lot with pre-release cards, and seeing that a lot of people were saying, hey, Surging Sparks is going to crash after pre-release. Cards are going to crash. This is not how it's going to go. But something kind of changed and went differently with Surging Sparks, which we kind of knew a little bit was going to happen because of how much demand there is right now and how much Pokemon sets are kind of hyped up. But it's a very scary area to get into if you want to get pre-release cards. See, you know how the Pikachu was doing? Pikachu before release was selling for around 300 to 350. People are like, this is going to crash. It's going to go around to 200, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, is right now it's sitting at like, I think 500. I've seen some sales for like 550. Crazy. But there's a big thing that we didn't know about Surging Sparks is, I guess, quality control, really, and just the demand and the hype, really. I knew the hype was crazy with Surging Sparks, but Surging Sparks is like insane. Like, if you see the PSA 10 of this Pikachu right now, I've seen like bids recently for like 3,100 around there, like $3,100. That is okay. Let's take a step back for a second and say that $3,100 for this Pikachu is one. It's more than the Latios from Tag Team, and the Evolving Skies Moonbreon. Do you really think this card is going to go for that high a price? I don't think so at all. There have to be one big factor we still have a question mark here, is the quality control in the set. It's quality control. So that is a big thing with pre-release stuff. We don't really know how much the quality control is. So with pre-release stuff, if you're buying it and selling it as well, because I've sold some and I've messed up a little bit, but if you're buying it, you're still taking that risk of being like, most of the time the set is going to go down. But this new era, like let's say with Prismatic Evolutions, I think it's going to be, it really depends how these cards play out with Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic Evolutions, these Eevees and Evolutions, I don't even know. I know the pre-release prices on these are going to be crazy. Like I said, Surging Sparks right now, we are seeing some crazy demand for it. We're seeing some crazy prices, but wait, a lot of people don't understand. Wait until we see Prismatic Evolutions and Team Rocket. Team Rocket is going to be crazy. So should you be buying those pre-release cards? I would say no, not at all. I wouldn't buy them at all. Just because it's such a touchy market right now and we don't know what can happen. Because potentially the cards can crash, but potentially the cards can go. It's like, it can happen both ways. Especially right now, like I said, Surging Sparks kind of changed it to where people are going to be questioning what is going on. Like, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting topic and area that we are in right now in Pokemon. Like, the things before that we were like, no, don't do that at all. Like, it was kind of like a given no. Now it's kind of more like, maybe, should I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to take that risk? Like, I know some people took that risk with the Pikachu and it's paying off big right now, really big. People are buying that Pikachu up like crazy, being like, hey, I'm gonna get this good grade. Like, for example, Dama, he was making a whole video, he made a whole series about buying the card and getting it graded and flipping the card. I don't have really checked back up recently with it, but even if it got like a 9, the 9s are going for like $700-800 right now. Like, it's wild to me what is going on with Pikachu. But like, okay, the buying side of it, should you buy it? I would say no, honestly. And because you're taking the risk, it's a really big risk with that. I mean, it's up to you personally. I mean, do you want to, if you think you can have the potential to flip right here, you can, but I wouldn't do that. It's just I don't like that kind of investing, flipping kind of thing like that. I don't really like that area, so that's not really for me, you know what I mean? Some people like that. Some people like taking the risk of just flipping and being like, hey, I can maybe double my money or lose 50% of my money like here. I don't like that. I like a comfortable percentage that keep going up over time. That's what I really enjoy. That's why I like Pokemon cards, like investing in booster boxes and stuff like that, because it works out for me. Majority of people, it doesn't really work out like that. People like trying to get the quick money like this, that, and the other. Like, I like over time for it to work out, you know what I mean? Like that. With these singles, when they're being pre-released and everything like that, I don't like it at all. It's kind of weird to me. It's not really weird, but it's danger zone kind of thing like that. It's a very dangerous to try to do that and get those cards. But at the same time, like I said, we don't know if the card can go up after pre-release. And there's a big thing too. Okay, we're talking about selling, like the buying you buy. Now I want to talk about selling, because I've been doing this. This is what I want to say from a personal perspective of me, what I did, and kind of give an explanation what happened, because I know selling on pre-release, there's like a lot of people that kind of like don't really like it, and I've seen a lot of negativity around it, like being like, hey, you're selling pre-release, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, let's stop that. I want to stop talking about that for a second. If you're selling on pre-release, do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, I've done it, so I can talk like say that like that. Like I've sold pre-release cards, like Twilight Surging Spark. I sold most of my pre-release cards just because I know they were gonna go for a high price, and I want people gonna buy them. Like, so, you know what I mean? So some people want to get those cards, and I don't really want the cards. I rather make the money back and buy more product and stuff like that. It's just, you know, that's just how it is. So because I thought the set cards were gonna go down, but at the same time, I could sell those cards. I could put those cards up for a certain amount. But if they don't sell, that's me. You know what I mean? That's my problem right there. But if people buy those, that is on them right there. Some people want to get those cards before the pre-release and get those out to grading and get them back and do whatever they want to do with it. So I'm kind of helping them out in a favor. You know what I mean? That's a very touchy subject. I know a lot of people don't really like talking about that. But now let me tell you one time that this really kind of turned around on me and didn't really mess up. Like, for example, right now with Surging Sparks, the Pikachu regular EX, I sold it for, I think $15, $17 around the area I sold it for, and I think it's going for like above 20 right now. You see, that was a card I messed up on. And also Twilight Masquerade I messed up on too. Twilight Masquerade I messed up on the Eevee. The Eevee I sold for around, I think pre-release prices, it was going for around, I think $30 to $35. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, let me sell this before pre-release because it's gonna go down. You know, I thought it was gonna go down. I'm like, hey, let me get this cash back and I can just put it back into Twilight Masquerade and buy some more booster boxes of it like I did. But what happened was, once the card got released, the card went up. I was not expecting that. So you see, it can happen from two different perspectives. It just, the buyer has to do their due diligence and make sure they're buying the right card, being like, hey, I really believe in this card. I just want this card for my collection, one of the two. You know what I mean? There's different kind of things. Because the thing is, with pre-release, it's not really, we don't know 100% what's going to happen with that set. Like Surging Sparks. I know I keep going back to Surging Sparks, but Surging Sparks is really kind of changed what's going to go forward for pre-release, because people are probably going to be picking up pre-release cards even more now because of that. So because we don't know the quality control of cards, we don't know how hard it's going to be to pull these cards. Like if these evolutions are hard to pull, oh my gosh, you do not understand what the price of these cards are going to be. Those cards probably pre-release are going to be going for $500-$600 a piece. The Moonbreon or the Sunbreon, whatever you want to call it, the Stonebreon, that's what I've heard some people say. Like that card's going to go for around maybe like $1,000 on pre-release. I can say maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying that right now. It'll probably go for pre-release prices. So we don't really know, you know, pre-release, and it's very sketchy to me. I don't like it, me personally. I don't. But like I said, if you like that and you want to take the risk there, go do it. You know what I mean? Because you could buy that card. Let's say you buy the Stonebreon before release for $800. You mean pay a nice crazy price? People are like, oh my god, you're crazy, this and the other. When it releases, let's say there's low pop of those. Let's say that card's really hard to pull. Let's say you send out the green, you get a 10. You could probably sell that card for $25 to $30,000, probably even more than that, depending on, especially the Pikachu, how it is right now. You know what I mean? It could be even more than that. But there is another thing that I want to say about the Pikachu too that kind of messed up what is going on right now after the release of Surging Sparks. Is, if y'all, I'm pretty sure I made a whole video about the Pikachu got ran up. That Pikachu was around $2,000. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. The Pikachu went up to around like 420,000, 669, something like that. It was people are crazy. But you see, that really affected the price of the post-release too, or the actual release of the cards, because people were like, hey, this card's going for, people were actually bidding it up to like $3,000. Like I said, right now it's at $3,000. So that has a big deal on the prices after when release of cards. So if I'm gonna say, if you want to buy these cards on pre-release, if you're gonna buy these cards on pre-release, there's a couple things you have to make sure you're doing before you do this. One, make sure you are getting a perfect copy of this card. Make sure you know it's a 10. Make sure you see there's no flaws in the card. Make sure if you send it off the grading, it's gonna get a 10. Don't buy nothing that has a little bit of whitening, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? I mean, I know PSA is kind of PSA. You're still gonna get like a 9 sometimes, even if it's like a perfect card. But make sure you are looking out to buy these cards on pre-release, because if you are buying these cards on pre-release, make sure they are perfect condition, nothing wrong with the card at all, because that is really what's going to kind of help you on the back end of things if you buy your card on pre-release or buy your card for pre-release. Because like I said, you don't know if whenever the set comes out, there's a big quality control with the set. That could be a big thing too. So the card you got for the price that you think is a good price and that wasn't really adjusted by the market yet. You know how much is out there and everything like that. There's different factors to kind of go on with that, but because the quality control could be bad in that set. We don't really know. So the card you get could be perfect. You know what I mean? That could be like one rare card. The guy could be selling it for $600. You're like, hey, I want to take this bet. I don't know how good the quality control. Surging Sparks is horrible quality control. This set might be bad quality control too. The pull rates might be rough. You never know what's going to go on with this set. So it's kind of just that gamble. Like I said, I don't like the gamble. I really don't. I would not ever do it. Maybe for like a YouTube video I would do it. Maybe potentially down the future. I wouldn't spend, that's a lot of money, spending like $300, $400, $500, $600 on a card to send it off to grading and stuff like that. I haven't graded one card myself, so I'm not used to that. That's not a field that I have been into. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I'm more the person to be like, hey, I'm opening products for pre-release and I want to sell them out to the people. I'm more of that person. I'm more of the, hey, pay the price here, good luck with it. If it works out for you, good luck. If it don't, hey, sorry, you know what I mean? Kind of thing like that. You take the gamble either way. Me selling on pre-release, I take the gamble for the prices going even crazier, like the Pikachu and the Eevee. I lost money on those cards, you know what I mean? But so there's different kind of avenues you want to take, and some people also like getting these cards for like the actual game. They like playing the game and the actual TCG for tournaments and stuff like that. They like getting those cards ready. They want to have them. Like there's a lot of cards in this Surging Sparks that are good for regionals and stuff like that, and people want to get those cards as soon as possible, make sure they're getting it ready for their cards, getting their deck ready and everything like that. Like one guy told me on I think it was Twilight Masquerade, I think he bought like a Teal Mask Overgripon, the Teal Mask. He's like, hey, thank you so much, I was waiting to get these, I looked for this card forever, I was making sure I wanted to get this before the regional. He was so happy with me, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, okay, if you want to pay a little bit more for this card, I'm okay with that. And the card actually, I'm pretty sure that card ended up going up too. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of, there's different really things you can watch out for, or different ways can go about this. But like I said, if you're gonna buy a card on pre-release, make sure it's a perfect 10. Make sure have no flaws with it. Send it off to grading and wish you the best of luck with it. Especially with this new set, Prismatic Evolutions and everything like that. Surging Sparks has changed everything the way we looked at Pokemon cards. I can tell you that. At least future TCGs, because the boxes are going up, cards are going up, and people are like, hey, this is gonna crash. You mean every time it crashes, every single time it crashes, but it's going up. You see what I'm saying? So Surging Sparks is kind of being telling like, hey, Pokemon is different right now. We don't know what is going on. Up can be down, down can be up. You know what I mean? So take what you want of that. I don't really know. Like I said, I told you what I'm going to do, or what I do with pre-release cards. I don't buy them. I really don't. I sell them. I don't buy them. But do whatever you want to do. If you want to buy them, wish you the best of luck with that. You see, sometimes it plays out for you, like Surging Sparks right now, Pikachu. Whoever bought that card for like $350, even if they pulled it and they send it off to grading, they're making $3,500 if they got a PSA 10. You see what I'm saying? They quadrupled, made like $2,500 on their money. You see what I'm saying? So it's worth the risk, but I mean, it's a big risk, but it's not worth it to me. Maybe you out there, it might be a good risk for you. I don't like that though. Like I said, I like buying stuff, holding it, making it work out. But I'm just rambling on at this point. Hope y'all kind of got what you got of the video. Let me know what you think about pre-release. Do you think it's good to buy a pre-release? Do you think it's good to wait? Do you think before it was good to buy a pre-release, now it's like you gotta buy it pre-release? Let me know your perspective on pre-releases. What do you think about it? What do you think about people selling on pre-release like me? You know, you probably hate me, I'm selling on pre-release, but hey, like I said, I've helped people out, and some people got messed up. You know what I mean? Bought cards that I sold them and they went down. That's the risk too. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, they bought that card. They know what happens. So we'll see what happens. But wanted to let y'all know this and kind of see what you want. I kind of want to get people's opinions on this and to see what they're gonna do for pre-releases coming out. You know what I mean? So hope y'all enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Peace.